everybody. We're here today with two of my favorite people, Patricia Kelly Ruiz and Maddy Ruiz, who are Regroup Property Stylists. This dynamic duo, I tell you, they are dynamic, is a local GTA staging and property styling company founded by mother and daughter in 2011. So over the last 12 years, they've staged and worked with hundreds of realtors, including me and many people in my brokerage across the GTA. And they've even been featured on CTV. They practice lifestyle staging that originated in New York. So I want to know what that is, and have been successfully helping people sell their property faster and for more money. Welcome, you guys.
Hi, thanks, Sandra.
Nice to see you here. I can testify that you guys do phenomenal work. You guys are extremely professional. You can deal with a variety of situations. You understand target demographics and you will stage to the demographic, not to the wrong demographic. And I absolutely love working with you. And all of our clients have loved working with you. So over the last few years, things have changed in real estate. Real estate is, in flux. Has there been a change of many home sellers asking for staging, asking their realtors for or about staging?
Oh, it's huge, Sandra. There has been. When we first started staging, most agents understood the value that we would bring to the table. A lot of vendors, sellers did not. And they really sometimes were insulted, or staging had a very negative connotation. Oh, this place has been staged. But really, everything has changed so much that now vendors are actually asking their agents, are you providing staging? Who's your stager? When are we getting it staged? How does the staging work? They want it and request it staged. And they're often they are often buyers as well, and they're going out enjoying seeing a staged property and expecting to see a staged property. And on the sell side, they want their home to look like that too.
A lot of times. Sorry, go ahead, Maddy.
I'm just gonna say, especially like with HGTV now, and that's so big. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, and they do. Buyers and sellers expect a staged home, right? So vendors expect that.
Yeah. So
I've been asked by buyers, why wouldn't they stage this house?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a bar that has been raised and the expectation is there.
Yes, it is there. Yeah. That's a change in the mentality of the seller.
And I do remember the negative connotation. I remember even one of my agents did an open house. This is like a long time ago, 20 years ago maybe. And the house had been staged and painted, to sort of freshen it up. Nobody wants to see walls with scuff marks and 5 years worth of kids, drawing on it or whatever they're doing. And somebody walked into the open house and says, they're hiding something. I can smell paint. They've painted. What are they hiding? And I'm like, would you try to sell your car without detailing it first? No.
Yeah. And those times have really changed.
Yeah.
We're glad, because it was, we've been in the business for almost 13 years, and there was a huge learning curve. We joined in when agents were getting it, and now it's great that sellers have gotten it too. Especially, there is a generational element to it, and it's, I hate to say, because it's my generation that a little hesitant. Whereas anyone under, I'm going to say 45 for sure, they're ready to stage, they're ready to go.
Yeah, I think the expectation is there, but there's still some confusion about decorating versus staging. So let's talk about that a little bit. What's your insight that you can share with the public?
That decorating and staging, you're right, very, very different. Decorating is for you. It's for what you want to surround yourself with. Things that are sentimental, or things that you want to be around. Things that you choose for yourself. And it can be any style, anything you want. Whereas staging it's really a marketing tool. So staging is what shows the house best. And in staging, it's, as you said earlier, targeting a very specific market. It's also what highlights the positives of this home, as well as what is going to photograph well, because you guys as agents, you need people to see the, you know, the web presence and get themselves to that home and have a look at it. Some things when they're decorated are beautiful, but they might not photograph well. They could photograph junky or busy or just not in style anymore and not speaking to that target market.
And we've even worked with designers where we've
Yes,
gone
we have.
into their home and they've had, it looks beautiful. However, it was an example actually, and it was a big, huge bay window. And she had two huge, beautiful chairs right in front of it. It looked fantastic for decorating, for living. However, it wasn't showing off that space. So we completely reconfigured it. So we worked with decorators and had to come in and stage their property because it wasn't set for that. Plus it was busy and it wouldn't photograph very well.
Yeah, and they were hiding those two chairs. What you could see, you know, we were
Beautiful view.
beautiful view. It was like Muskoka. It was spectacular here in the city. And so they were hiding that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
we-
interesting because you go in with a very objective eye, thinking of potential buyers. You guys are trained almost as, you know, buyer agents, and you're thinking, what will the buyer see? But your point about photos is so important. You know, I spent many years in retail, and I say my years in retail prepared me for real estate. And I remember we used to merchandise the front of the store. We were in malls. We would merchandise the front of the store with signs and color blocking and whatever was on sale or a featured item, because you had 3 seconds to capture the attention of the potential buyer as they strolled by and glanced over. You had 3 seconds to get them, because then they were gone. And that is the same thing. I'm talking to you, potential home sellers, as people troll through the internet and they come across your for sale listing, they're looking at the pictures. And if they're not enticing, trust me, they're moving on. And for the realtor to even get them back there is going to be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. We've even got, you know, we've bought, say, a fabulous picture and we're excited. You know, stagers are always excited to use the new inventory. And don't we put it up and realize this is photographing horrible? It's reflective, it's bright, whatever it is. And we're, you know, we're deflated. No, so we can't use it. Right?
I remember seeing pictures of a gorgeous home. You guys didn't stage it. And there was this area rug, and you could tell it was an expensive Persian rug. But when you looked at those pictures of that room, that's all you saw was the rug.
Oh, good point. Good point. And that really brings into a decorating versus staging. That was decorated beautifully, but not staged because your eye was not noticing the crown molding or something, right?
Beautiful
Right.
Tray ceilings, it was going right to that carpet you're talking about.
Even the size of the room, the flow of the floor plan. I mean, you guys must be heartbreakers, because you have to go in and tell the homeowner that that gorgeous Persian rug has to be rolled up and put away so that we can bring in this, you know, other very not bland, but less obtrusive on the eye and in the photographs, right? You're professionals at what you do, right? So you're just giving advice and you're going to execute it. And it's just like, trust us, we know what we're doing. And trust me when I tell you, they know what they're doing. So go with it. It may not be how you want to live.
Yeah.
It may not be how you would decorate,
Exactly.
but it's what will sell your property for more money and faster. You guys do property consultations. So let's talk a little bit about what that is and when should home sellers bring in a stager?
Okay. With our consultation, that is a full, it's a full room by room walkthrough, usually with the agent. So often the agent calls us in when they get the listing. So the home seller and agent are often at that consultation. Often, you know, we do work with a lot of the same agents over and over again. So sometimes they don't come. They know that we're not, you know, we don't alienate the client. We're you know, friendly, we give the advice. But and what we do as we go room by room, we give all our suggestions. And the reason why we give all the suggestions, Sandra, is that it gives the seller and the agent all the information, and they can do what they want. We can work with it in the end any way they can leave it. And we never know what resources they have, what skills they have, who can do what. So we tell them all our suggestions. In the end, they do whatever they do. We also do that because sometimes there are almost big deal breakers. So it's, maybe it's a repair or it's a change of, something major, maybe a staircase or flooring. And we know that is going to be a deal breaker. So if we don't say anything, the agent who is also our client, we do a disservice to them. And we do a disservice to the seller. So, if it turns out to be a huge challenge and a deal breaker, then the poor seller says to you, the agent, Sandra, you're an expert. Why didn't you tell me this? And then you brought in another expert. They didn't say anything either. I would have fixed it or moved it, or I had no idea. So that's everything at that consultation, very detailed. And then the agent and the seller get a written report and it is everything we've talked about, and sometimes a little more, because we keep it to about an hour and a half, so it's not overwhelming. And then sometimes there's a little more information in that report, and if pictures are necessary. So if we've gone through and said, you need a little more wow factor in this bedroom, well, what does that mean? Or you need to declutter, what does that mean? Here's a picture. When we say, you need one or two things on a shelf, or you need much, the wow factor in the bedroom, your bedroom should look like this. And we include a picture. Sometimes we do that during a consult too. But, we suggest you change your lighting, this style or family of lighting your target market's expecting to see.
Yeah, your reports are very thorough and they're phenomenal. They're so time consuming for you and so valuable for the realtor and the seller.
Yes, that's right. We like to think that. We really think that they are valuable. We've been told they're the best in the business, and we're proud of that. And we want it to be detailed, and we don't hold back. But we never go in, and we're not the stagers who will go in and say, oh, you've got to paint this room, or oh, that paneling has to go. Never, never, never. We're much more, we're cognizant that is somebody's home. And they might love that paint color, or, they put up the paneling with their dad and they're emotionally tied to it. We're very, very thoughtful that way.
Well, as a realtor, we come across that all the time, but at the end of the day, they're moving, right?
Yes.
So if it's going to translate into a quicker sale, because that's a pain point for people. I want to move quick. I don't want my house to be on the market forever. I hate showings. I can't keep it clean like this. And for more money, because of course everybody wants more money in their pocket, right? So if it's going to translate into either of those, a faster sale or more money, then you know what? You're saying goodbye to those walls anyway. Let's do what we can. But sometimes there's just budgeting concerns, because painting a house can be really, really expensive. Now, I wanted to ask you, a lot of agents are talking about free staging, but you and a lot of realtors think that it's deceitful and it's misinformation. So let's delve into that.
Okay. That's really loaded. That's a loaded area for us.
I got time.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So a lot of times, and you know this, a lot of times if an agent is offering the seller free staging, the chances are very high that they're not bringing in a professional stager. So they're doing that staging themselves. So they often do not have the inventory, or they're in that situation that we've talked about where they're thinking about a lot of other things going on, other pain points of the seller, and they don't have the, maybe there's not enough room in that relationship for the realtor stager type person to say, this has to be removed. It really should be. So there is no bad cop kind of person there. And so they're not looking at it within, a very, very third party, kind of distance there. And they're not certified. So if they're coming in and putting a bunch of, cushions on a couple of sofas and, you know, I don't know, a throw somewhere, a candle. That really isn't staging. And they haven't, you know, taken into consideration, you know, maybe the flow, you know, configuration, highlighting something positive, you know, trying to dull up something negative. And so there is no, that's not staging. They're
And
all
no professional stager is going to work for free.
absolutely. So
Why would you? I mean,
Why-
nobody works for free.
no one works for free.
And so that's a disservice to the vendor when you're saying free staging. That's a value add for.
That's right. And they're really not bringing the true
No.
value add. They're bringing what they can do. Now, you know, sometimes definitely someone saying free staging is an agent who's also a certified stager or, you know, has a stager on their team. But that particular stager on the team has to get paid too.
Yeah,
So
somewhere somebody's paying
Someone
for it.
has to be paid.
Yeah.
Otherwise you do get what you pay for and it's free. It's nothing. So there you go.
Let's talk about, like, can you quickly take us through start to finish? What's the procedure with professionals like you?
Right. Okay. First of all is that consult that we talked about. And so first there's the consult. The report goes out usually within, you know, same day, 24 hours, something like that.
And you'd want to get that consult done sort of right away. That would be sort of
Absolutely.
the first thing, sort of
Yes.
before anything.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a few months between the consult time and staging time. If someone has been in a home a long time, has to get rid of things, has a lot to do, you know, a little bit of a reno. And so the consultation, and then we always find out when, you know, between the seller and the agent, what is their timeline for going live, being listed for sale. And then we kind of work backwards from that date. So, you know, recently we did a job for, you know, I think it was for your husband. And he said they have to be on the market this date. And we worked backwards. So, okay, we've got to come in, we come in and stage. And sometimes sellers think that takes days and days. It's usually half a day or a day.
Yeah.
And we leave it photo ready. So, you know, last week when we did Gary's condo, for example,
Same day, right?
yeah,
Same day
I think it was,
photos.
yeah, it was either same day or next day.
Mhm.
And then whatever you guys, you agents need to do in the background and to get everything ready, your marketing material, etc., whatever it is that, you know, MLS needs for you to be live on there. And then it is live. So the whole process, you know, those final kind of, it's about, you know, maybe 3 or 4 days. But that is the sequence of events. And then staging day and consult day, it really depends. Sometimes it's a fast turnaround, and sometimes between the consult and staging day, there's
Could
a
be months.
huge,
Yeah,
it can be
depends
months.
on what.
And we're in
what's
touch
household.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I deal with a lot of seniors downsizing. So they appreciate knowing well in advance, you know, what has to go, what has to be packed, what has to be changed. Then
Yes.
there's time to get, you know, your great niece in to pick up that item because she's not available today or whatever. She's got to arrange a truck or whatever, you know, what have you. So plus I find that it really reduces the overwhelm, the feeling of overwhelm. I mean, we have packers and organizers to help them, but for the people who want to do it themselves, having the consult way, way, way early. And on a different subject though, also a pre-sale home inspection as well, because then you can fix things. Right.
That's
So
right.
it's all, let's get started early. Now, when you say you can do it in a half a day or a day, I don't want people to think that, oh, they're just going to do that. No, you guys are organized and you have a plan. So you just come in on the day. You've got the moving truck coming. You've already picked out the furniture and decor and everything. You know exactly where everything's going. And then you have your team, which is more than just the two of you, executing it. So it is a fine-tuned process. This is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what the home seller experiences is extreme efficiency and gorgeous results, right?
Thank you.
So there's a ton of work, just like realtors, there's a ton of work before, you know, and then you show up on the day and it's all come together. So how does Regroup Property Stylists differ from everyone else?
Well, some of the things that we've talked about today, Sandra, we really sort of practice those things all the time. So when you're talking about seniors, for example, we know when we're dealing with seniors, they do need more time, and maybe they need different language. Maybe they need different treatment of you know, depending on their level of, you know, techno savviness, you know, can we say we'll email that to you or no? Is that, are we looking, sending something to the agent and making sure the agent can get it to them? So one of our, you know, we do have the inventory, we have the experience, we're very experienced, but I think the other thing that we bring to the table is that, and maybe it's because both of us come from the corporate world, we understand that it's a marketing tool and that it has to be that we are marketing to a specific target market. We're not going in to decorate. And we're also very, you know, we're very cognizant of some of the pain points that the seller and the agent are really experiencing.
Yeah.
And we can sometimes, as you know very well, other than, you know, sometimes people are senior or they have specific needs. We deal with divorces. We deal with people who don't want to move and they have to move. People in crazy time crunches being transferred. And all of that, we really have to take all of that into consideration.
And we dealt with
Yes,
all of it.
we've
So
dealt with
there's,
all of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what should people look for other than just looking up Regroup Property Stylists? What should they look for when they're going to hire?
Yeah.
What should they look for? And like, what's a great stylist? What should they look for?
Well, you know, if they're, you know, ideally we want everyone to use us. When they're not using us, use a great stager. So someone who is experienced and has the appropriate inventory to stage your home to speak to the target market and understands that that's what they're doing. So there's no, you know, talking about what we bring to the table. Again, these two questions kind of merge with each other. And so, you know, back to what makes us different is we don't overstage. So don't get a stager who overstages. The overstaging that is around now is almost silly. And we've had agents and sellers say to us when they've gone out, you know, when the seller is out looking as a buyer and they see, you know, there's a throw on a dining room chair or a throw silly things, you know, and candles and things on a bed, and it's just all overdone.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Yes. Makes for a lovely picture, but I was looking at a listing yesterday and it was like they were selling the decor and not
Yes.
the house, not the condo house. It was a house. And I mean, it was just like, you know, 7 pictures of this from different angles. I'm like, I don't care about that. That's not going to be there when I buy the house. Show me the room.
Yes. Yeah.
Space, the flow. How can I use this space? Like that's what you guys do too, right? It's like one room, one use. So when you go in and there's a bedroom and there's like a desk set up and the treadmill holding clothes usually and dust in that corner, and this and that. It's like no, one use.
Yes, absolutely. And so we do that. And if you're, you know, looking for a really great stager, make sure that they understand your situation and work closely with the agent. So the best projects are the agent, the seller or vendor, and the stager, all lots of open communication and lots of, everyone's on the same page. And we're all understanding.
I can tell you that I'm very grateful to have you guys on my side, and it's been extremely beneficial, not only for me, but for the clients as well. And I have no qualms about sending you in to meet any of my, you know, home sellers, any of my clients, because I know what you guys are all about. Corporate background, you know how to speak to people, you know how to overcome objections, you know how to get them to the results that they want. And you do it with such finesse. So I'm very proud to know you guys and grateful for everything that you do for us and everyone at my brokerage and for the public out there. So thank you so much for these words of wisdom. And to the public, I hope you enjoyed this little interview with Maddy and Patricia, and we'll see you soon.
Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.